Hey, wake up. It's time to wake up. Oh, okay, good. You're up. I got you a cup of tea, just so you can start waking up. So, listen, I have an idea. I'm sure you know about the game Wii Sports. Oh, good. So, I was thinking, if we got every single person who bought Wii Sports together, we could make our own country. It would put us at the 20th most populated country in the world. I'm thinking of a name, but so far all I can think of is just, instead of Metopia, like the game, we call it Weetopia. No, it's not communism, it just sounds like that. Well, we can brainstorm later, but what do you say? You want to make a country? A major reason that video games started was because it was an outlet for people to share their ideas. Rather than just watching a story happen in front of you, you could be a part of the story and make your own decisions. I mean, just look at Nintendo. From Mario to The Legend of Zelda to Metroid, each game was made with the player in mind. It's honestly great when video game companies actually take the time to consider the player. Now, there's also another reason why gaming companies make games. Yeah, it's no secret that video game companies want to sell as many copies as possible. If anything, it's usually assumed that if a video game sells a lot of copies, then it's a good game. Now, I wanted to see just how true this was, so I looked at some of the numbers with the best-selling games of all time, and yeah, they're a bit high. To put things into perspective, the Final Fantasy VII Remake has sold over 14 million copies. That's a lot of copies, but it makes sense. People have been waiting for a remake of it for years. With a great story and memorable characters, it's no wonder why it sold so many. Nintendogs sold nearly 24 million copies on the DS, and it's about raising dogs. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, is that not enough for you? Alright, in 2006, Tetris partnered with EA, yeah, that EA, to make a mobile app. By 2010, it was downloaded over 100 million times. You wanna know the worst part? In true EA fashion, they removed the app in 2020, and even if you already had the game, you couldn't play it anymore. There's plenty of games with a lot of sales, but I wanted to take a look at just a few of them. Now, I'm not considering any mobile games. I know the Tetris game I just mentioned was downloaded 100 million times, but in that case, almost every popular mobile game would be on this list. I might cover them another time in a different video, but for the sake of this one, no mobile games. The original Super Mario Bros. Game from 1985 is considered one of the all-time classics in gaming. Everyone knows about Mario, and with over 58 million sales, it's no wonder why this is. The story is simple, with Mario just trying to save the princess, the game is easy to control with very little controls to remember, and the music is still memorable. Of course, one thing that really stands Mario out from the other games we'll be talking about today is the speedrunning community. I mean, just look at this! Almost all of these games have a speedrunning community of their own, but there's something different about watching a Mario speedrun. I'm stressed whenever I need to beat a level by a certain amount of time, and then there's speedrunners. Super Mario Bros. Sold well because it's accessible to just about everyone. Pac-Man follows a very similar pattern. The game doesn't get much harder than avoiding the ghost. Sure, it does lean into strategy and planning your next moves more than Mario, but at the end of the day, it's just a fun game that people can play just about anywhere. Never gets old. Wii Sports is a great game that I was both surprised to see in this list and not. Wii Sports is a very memorable game, and it's also the best-selling Nintendo video game of all time. From an outsider's point of view, this makes absolutely no sense. At the end of the day, Wii Sports is just that, a sports game. You've got boxing, bowling, golf, tennis, and baseball. And yet, this game came bundled with the Wii. Nintendo decided that, out of all the games that they had at this time, this was the one that would connect with audiences. I think Nintendo made a fantastic move with this. The Wii is often referred to as a console that almost everyone can use. From children to adults, this game is easy to use, and the game reflects on that. If you're playing with someone who's never picked up a controller, they know how to play these sports. Baseball, you swing the remote like a bat. Tennis, you swing the remote vertically. Boxing, you swing the remote like your life depends on it.
Down! 1, 2!
With this Wii game doing so well, it makes sense why the other Wii games did just as well. Wii Sports Resort, the sequel to Wii Sports, has over 33 million sales, and it's just about what you'd expect. There's more sports, easy controls, and it's a fun game. This one also has a dog in it, so if we're comparing this to Nintendogs, it's obvious why this one also sold pretty well. Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus sold nearly 44 million copies. The game where you do yoga has nearly 44 million sales. Alright, so far we've seen some pretty good numbers. A lot of them are really, really high, but what about the top 2? What are the 2 games that took audiences by storm? Well, I'm sure you already know what number 1 is, so why don't we take a look at number 2, which is actually number 5 in its series.
This game is corrupting our youth, they swear. Isn't this a family channel?
Alright, 2 things. 1, for the parents saying that games similar to GTA are damaging the minds of our youth, that's not the game's fault. Just take one look at the cover of the game, and I want you to tell me if you think your 8-year-old child is ready to experience it. It's not like there's any signs to look out for. Oh wait, let's look at the corner real quick! It's rated M for not for you. And secondly, no one can deny the effect the Grand Theft Auto series has had for gaming. Starting as just a top-down driving game, the GTA series has evolved and pushed the limits to what can be in gaming. And while the game does have some adult content, it's also a game that you can play the way you want to. Want to break the law in the game? Go for it. I don't play the game that often, but when I do, I just run around the world and drive really fast. Albeit, it's about as good as my driving is in real life. GTA 5 is a great game that almost everyone can enjoy. It's no wonder why it got so popular, but what was the game that beat it? It's Minecraft. Of course it's Minecraft. What other game could it be? When Minecraft first released, many believed that this would just be another flash in the pan. I can't blame them. I mean, just look at what it originally looked like. It also released during a time when story-driven games were starting to take over gaming, such as Portal 2, Uncharted 3, and Skyrim. But what makes Minecraft stand out is that it is purely a sandbox game. I'm not going to go crazy with Minecraft again. If you want to check that out, you can go and see my Minecraft or nostalgia video. Instead, I want to focus on something I didn't before with this game. The community. On the one hand, you could play Minecraft on your own in survival. You could build a house, make a farm, play the game just like normal. Or, you and your friends could join a server and see a whole other side of Minecraft. From minigames to player-created worlds, to even real-life locations recreated in Minecraft, the community can be great. I absolutely love the Disney Minecraft server where you can just ride the Disney rides and walk around in a replica of the different parks. Every time I meet someone on there, they're always super nice, especially the people that run the server. Outside of the game, Minecraft has brought so many people together. When the conventions were in person with Minecon, but I just unlocked a core memory in some people with that name, it was always exciting to see what the game had next to offer, and to be around people who also like the game. Minecraft is the #1 best-selling game of all time, because it's one that everyone can play in their own way. If any game were to have this spot, I'm glad it's Minecraft. So what makes all of these games some of the best sellers? Well, I can tell you it's not the graphics or how incredible it looks. Wii Sports and Minecraft don't have the same graphics as some of the other games that we have today, clearly. Instead, it seems to just be how accessible they are to people. Mario and the Wii games are understood by anyone. In other cases, the games present something new that other games don't offer. While I didn't have time to talk about them, Red Dead Redemption and The Witcher 3 both also sold extremely well and do something new. Now, on the other hand, just because a game sells a lot, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily good. So be sure to come back next week where we look at some of the worst games to ever come out. And I assure you, you don't want to miss it. And as always, chase the chaos.